Hey everyone, I'm going to share with you today how to make mirepoix. You're going to need equal parts carrots, onion, and celery. You're going to need a container to store the mirepoix if you want to store this in the freezer, and a measuring bowl. You also need a cutting board and a knife, and I like to place something underneath the cutting board like a paper towel or a little pad like that to keep the cutting board from slipping around while I'm cutting. To get started, you're going to want to have a large enough container to store about 6 cups of vegetables in. You're going to take all of your carrots, line them up like this, use a knife to cut the tops of the carrots off, and then you're going to turn the carrots around and cut off any undesirable parts of the bottoms of the carrots. Make sure that you're keeping your hand away from the knife so you don't cut yourself while doing this. Then you're going to cut the carrots in half and then in half again to make quarters. You can cut the mirepoix any size that you prefer. I'm dicing the mirepoix vegetables really small for this application. This is great for if you aren't planning to puree the soup or stew or vegetable dish and you're going to be keeping the vegetables whole. So let me just quickly describe what mirepoix is. Mirepoix is a French culinary term used to describe 3 different vegetables combined together that is the basis for basically every soup, stock, and a lot of vegetable dishes. It includes equal parts of diced up carrots, onion, and celery. You can purchase already prepared mirepoix at grocery stores like Trader Joe's, but sometimes it's best and cheapest to make the mirepoix yourself. You're going to want to make sure you thoroughly clean all of your vegetables. Make sure that there's no dirt residual in the celery bottoms. You don't have to peel the carrots, but you can if you prefer. For chopping the celery, you're going to cut the ribs in half long ways and then make sure that they're about the same size as the carrots that you just diced. So chop them up into small dice as well. Mirepoix is a really great way to add a lot of vegetables to any dish. You can saute the mirepoix or you can also just boil it. It just depends. If you're making stock, the vegetables that you would put into the stock are these mirepoix vegetables. Once you finish cutting your celery, you can go ahead and add it into the bowl with the carrots. I'm using this measuring bowl to make sure that I'm measuring equal parts of the celery, carrots, and onions. Now I'm going to cut up my onion. I'm just going to cut it in half. Then I'm going to remove the outer peel and usually the first layer of the onion if it's kind of rubbery. You want to cut off the top of the onion but remain the bottom of the onion so that while you're dicing your onion small, all of the pieces of the onion stay together. Just peel back that first layer of the onion and discard the skins. You can also use the skins to make vegetable stock as well. Then you're going to go ahead and dice your onion small, the same size as your celery and carrots. Now, if you plan to make a soup that's going to be pureed, you can actually chop all of your vegetables much larger. You can even kind of break them in half. You don't even really have to chop them if chopping is a problem for you. But if you're not going to be pureeing the soup, you definitely want to make sure that your vegetables are all diced in equal portions, equal sizes, so that you have a nice consistency for your dish. Now add your onions to the bowl with the carrots and the celery, and make sure that you have equal portions, carrots, onions, celery. Now I'm going to share with you how to saute mirepoix. First, you're going to heat a large pot on a stove, about medium-high heat. I like to add a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon or 2, but this is totally optional. You can actually dry saute these vegetables as well. Then at the same time, you can add all 3 vegetables to the pot. Give it a stir, and then you're going to set a timer for 5 minutes to 7 minutes. In this tutorial, I'm going to share with you what the vegetables look like after they've sautéed for 5 minutes, and then what they look like for 7 minutes. All right, now here's what the vegetables look like after they've sautéed for about 2.5 minutes. Just wanted to show you kind of the progression. Now, this is what they look like after sautéing for 5 minutes. What you're looking for is that your onions are starting to turn translucent. Your vegetables are what's called sweating, meaning they're releasing a lot of their moisture. They're not so rigid anymore. Now you can stop here if you prefer, or you can add another 2 minutes to your timer and cook them a little bit longer. So here's what the vegetables look like after sautéing for 7 minutes on medium-high heat. They're starting to brown slightly, they're sweating, and the onions are starting to turn translucent. So basically that's all you have to do to make and sauté mirepoix. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!